live and direct from the new planet Earth. Where pandemics are plenty, but the girls are still pretty in fashionable dresses. You know what I'm talking about. Where ignorance is bliss. You ain't gotta give a damn about no code.
Tell me who unleashed our animal instinct. Why the op standing there tickle pink? Have a drink, walking them up liquor. Shot of poison, one thicker. Somebody got some explaining to do. And the classic man is a danger to you. And me too, tatted on my forehead. Go home, go to bed. I dread something wicked just wake up. When the family unit is overrun. When the structure is undone by some new concoction. Now I walk softly and carry a big stick. Original gorilla in the midst.
Welcome back to another episode of the Franchise Podcast. I'm Joe Rigo. With me is my brother TQ.
Damn, I missed y'all. It's been a while, huh?
It's been a little bit. So let us explain why we haven't been around for you guys.
Yeah.
To be honest, he's working on an album.
Amen.
And for us, the people that love him, Trish, myself, everybody in the company, we want to make sure the album is done. He's busy with it. Don't want to ruin his creativity. So
look, thanks to my squad for picking up the slack, man. Cause look, I've been in the dungeon, so good looking out.
we got a lot to talk about, so let's go. We had it this weekend. The fight we've been waiting for a long time, bro.
A long time.
Crawford Spence, and it was a beatdown from Bud.
Woo.
I mean, look, Bud Crawford is something different. And that's something that we talked about. We watched it over at Anthony from the Porterway Podcast House. He also does high school football with us.
Yes,
football
big
season's
Ant.
coming
Shouts
up.
out.
Phenomenal time. And the house was split 50-50. You know, you had us, I believe Shane Mosley Jr. We all were Bud fans, and then some of the other people in the house were Spence fans, including Ant. Mm-hmm. But man, Bud beat down Spence like he stole something. Like
beat
he
the
owed
brakes
himself.
off him, Mike.
I'm gonna tell you this. I didn't say this pre-show. During the week on that Wednesday, when you seen Bud and I was at the media workout, right?
Yeah.
He had a different look in his eye.
But
Yeah. And then on Thursday when they had their last session with everybody, the media session, when he went off on Spence's dude in the crowd, right? I knew my heart told me like, oh yeah, Bud got this. Like it's just different.
man, I was saying this from the beginning, man. And I remember the first couple of times I watched Errol Spence, and I'm like, man, this dude is a technician, right? And I've been a Bud fan from the day I laid eyes on him. I just like his vibe. I like his story. I like his family. I just like everything about the dude. But I felt like this fight, just like what's been happening in boxing over the last however long, this fight just happened a bit too late, man. I just feel like Spence, and I'm taking nothing from Terrence Crawford. I said from the beginning that he would beat him. I never thought that he would beat him like this.
You thought
that
it was
being said,
pre-pandemic?
Pre-pandemic, pre-accident. Look, we've seen the video of that car, man, flipping as many times as it did. If you get ejected out of a vehicle moving that fast, you're gonna hit something. And when you do, how can your body be the same? How can you be the same person after that kind of trauma? And just leading up to the fight, I just felt like Spence just wasn't there, man. And jokingly, before the fight, I posted, man, you can't smoke on a night like tonight.
We were talking about that laughing, yeah.
You can't be high tonight, bro. This is not the time to blow one. You feel what I'm saying? But after the fight, I went down the YouTube wormhole and I watched pre-accident Errol Spence, post-accident Errol Spence. And I'm not necessarily talking about in the ring. I'm talking about in interviews.
Right.
He's talking slower. He's answering slower. He's got this glassy look in his eye, and it seems like one eye is not.
It's a little off.
Listen, yeah, I'm not a doctor. I'm just trying to figure out how that happened the way that it did.
Oh.
Aside from, not to cut you off, aside from the accident, he's a bigger guy, right? as you get up in age, as your body, takes that punishment and just ages, it's gonna be harder to drop that weight drastically like that.
Yeah, true.
Add to the trauma of the accident, man. I just feel like that wasn't the Errol Spence that got us all pumped up about this fight.
So one of the things that I did, I was perusing TikTok because it's something that puts me to sleep at night.
You do.
And I seen something that Charleston White said. He has a conspiracy out there.
Oh my God. This man said Charleston White. Are you serious?
Yeah, he's from Dallas. He knows what's going on down there.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, so
Lord.
He said that this is karma for Errol Spence essentially having Mo 3 killed. No, yeah. Like I'm gonna give you the short version. Mo 3, Errol Spence and 2 other cats lived in the same apartment. He said Mo 3 was the bully of the apartments. Now the other 2 dudes, whatever happened with them, they went to jail or just something happened to them. But he was still bullying Errol Spence. He even pulled up to the gym and bullied him. There was a mutual friend.
I think I heard about this gym thing.
Yeah, the mutual friend was, I guess, Errol Spence's mom's best friend. Basically told him to stop, and he wouldn't. So then he's saying the night that Spence got in the car accident, he was being chased by Mo 3 because that road was a road that you don't go fast on at all.
Okay.
And he was going a $120.
Yeah.
So he said the only person that knew the type of car that Mo 3 was driving was Errol Spence. So when that happened, that Spence may have I'm just saying that was a Charleston White conspiracy theory.
Look, I'm gonna consider the source number 1. I don't know about Charleston White.
I agree.
I don't know about Charleston White. I also don't know about what happens in the streets of Dallas. So I who knows? I know this much. That was a hell of an accident, and that man it was a miracle that he walked away from it.
When we were driving back to drop me off at the house, and Kalani Lua from the main event was with us.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you recall, but I said to you in the car that, I wonder if the doctor's going to say something about the amount of trauma he had from Bud because of the accident. I was concerned for that for Errol Spence, just because I'm going to say this to come out funny. He looked like Martin when he fought Tommy Hearns on Martin.
He did. He absolutely did. No lie. And it just seemed like he didn't even know what was going on. I was watching Roy Jones said something interesting about the redness of his face and the blood, how he bled so
he
much
was
and
leaking
so fast. Plastic surgery. I don't know. None of us are doctors. We're speculating. If nothing else, I hope that Spence goes to the neurologist and gets his brain checked out, man. Because here's the thing. When it gets to that point, you don't want, this reminded me of Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes.
The end of his career?
Yeah, I hated Larry Holmes because of that fight. It just seemed like he was fighting a sick man, which he was.
Yeah.
And this reminded me of that. And I don't want this to remind me of that because I wanted to see this fight for so long. You know what I'm saying? But I'm at the end of the day, I'm happy for Bud. I'm happy for his trainer who had his own battle leading up to this. I was happy to see him walk off with the belts. But I'm definitely concerned for Spence, and I hope that a doctor can get in there and find out what, if anything, is going on.
Do you know when I knew it was over?
When?
2 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock into round 2. So that's when Spence hit him with a left, hit Bud with a left. And Bud kind of ate it.
A tight one, too, yeah.
And Bud kind of ate it. It kind of looked like, oh, that's it?
That's all you got?
Yeah. And I go back to what Sean Porter told us when we were with him at the Rolly fight at the Cosmopolitan a couple months ago. He said, and he talked about it on the Porterway podcast this weekend. He said Bud knew he was going to beat him when he was going to beat Sean when he lifted Sean up and knew he was stronger than Sean.
Right.
And he said, you're too little.
Right.
He told Sean, literally told him, you're too little.
Sean's a good source. He fought both of them. So.
And I think Bud seen that at that point and was like, I'm too strong for you. And that's when, and Bud, his fighting style to me, I'll equate it to Bruce Lee. Like Bruce Lee, and Kung Fu before Bruce Lee, there's all these extra movements. Bud shortened it and gets straight to the point. And he could throw any jab he wanted. The great thing about being ambidextrous, in your fighting style is your hands are equally as strong. So
Yeah.
his right hook is a jab.
Exactly.
And, like come on, like
Yeah, you can shift that, man. You can twist that. That's why he's so dangerous, though. He's dangerous. He's a technician. He's a surgeon. And if you ain't on the top of your game, man, that's not the guy you get in the ring with.
no, and that's why to me, pound for pound, he's the best fighter in the world. Yeah. I think you have him, Tank, and in OJ, or I don't know his name, the guy that fought in Japan.
Oh my goodness,
Man.
that dude.
Vicious.
Get him in the ring again as soon as possible, because he is the guy. I can't think of his name.
I can't either.
I don't know how to
I can't
pronounce
pronounce why I said it. OJ.
Yeah.
But I think there's a gap after that, and then you got like Shakur Stevens,
Yeah.
Devin Haney,
Yeah.
I think Canelo was there, Benavidez, Morrell. You got those guys in there, and like the Benavidez Morrell fight, I want to see that.
Yeah. Should be a good one.
I'm interested in the Charlo
I'm not.
Canelo fight. I think Canelo's gonna wax him.
But eat him, bro.
Speaking of Charlo,
Kill him.
You see what happened with man. We're not gonna touch on the subject, but just Google.
My mama used to say, "I'ma slap the Jesus out of you, boy."
But see, here's
Stop that.
But here's the thing. The brothers were arguing with each other.
Yeah.
And Caleb Plant tried to stop it.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, and then he got his face smushed, and then by the one Charlo brother, and that's when he slapped him.
Oh, for real?
Because the wives were fighting. Because the one wife doesn't like the other
I
wife.
didn't know all that.
Yeah, so
Wait, the Charlo wives.
the Charlo wives were fighting.
Oh, my
the thing
God.
This is the thing that bothers me. One is your brothers.
Yeah, man, come on. That's why he got slapped. I
Yeah.
didn't know this.
And then
God don't like ugly.
And then
Don't do that.
Caleb leaves, but he left his wife.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? Like, no.
Come on, man. Wives should be off limits
Yeah.
anyway.
And
It is what it is.
then the Charlo wives, they got on video outside in the parking lot.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I think I showed you at the
Yeah,
the
but
party.
I didn't know that was the two wives. I
Yes.
thought that was one of the wives and some other girl.
No, it was the
so
wives.
They're all beating her down on the ground?
Yes.
Her
Yes.
sister-in-law?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Horrible.
That's bad.
So I'm sorry we got off subject, but who's your pound for pound? Who's your top three, and then who do you like beneath that?
I'm saying Bud, I'm saying Tank, and until somebody can beat him, I gotta say Canelo. Canelo's he's at the top of the mountain, man. Top of the mountain. Yes. Until somebody beats the big dog is the big dog.
You leaving off the Japanese fighter we just was talking
Yeah,
about?
I gotta leave him off because I have not seen enough of him. Don't get me wrong. From what I have seen, he looks great, but
Wow.
you gotta look at the resume, man. I'm thinking about the resume, and I'm like, how long has Canelo been that guy? He's been that guy for a while. Now, I'm sure, Canelo, how old is Canelo? He's getting up there in age. Bud's getting up there in age.
Bud's like 34.
Yeah, so like, I think Bud's older than that. I think he's like 36.
So I know one was
36.
36, 34, 34,
Yeah,
30,
so
whatever
I mean,
it is. Yeah.
it's a good time to really find out, what that is. But I can't just sweep Canelo under the rug.
If
He's been sitting
Canelo,
there for that long.
if Canelo would have fought Benavidez, I would agree with you, but I think he's ducking him because he knows Benavidez is a monster. He's
You think Canelo is ducking Benavidez?
100%, 150%.
I think that'd be a good fight. I think
Hey,
that's a toss-up. I
that
wouldn't
right-
pick Benavidez over Canelo.
I would. That'd
just
be
like
great.
that.
That'd be great on Cinco de Mayo here in Vegas or in Mexico. That would be a phenomenal fight. Hey, PBC, see, we got you. It's that time of the year again. Time to go camping. And we've been camping, folks. Raiders camp opened up last week.
Yes, it did.
And we franchises in the building. If you don't already, follow our newest writer. He's our Raider writer, Zeke Trezevant, not related to Ralph. Let me point that out, okay? He's at the Next Stu Scott on Instagram and Z Trezevant on Twitter, or X, however you want to say it. So, yeah, I know.
Different subject.
Whatever. So, okay, Raiders camp. We both been there. What do you? I want to know your opinion about the vibe early on in the camp.
I'm behind a big lens, so I'm paying attention to a lot of things. Being a fan, you know what I mean. It is totally different than it was last year. Last year was I don't even have a name for it. I left practices last year feeling like
Confused?
completely confused, disappointed, discombobulated, felt like we had gone from heading up a mountain back to the bottom quick. Josh was mad at everybody. The team was mad. Nobody understood what was going on. The starting quarterback was running laps, bro. He was running laps.
Hey.
Woo! So looking through the lens this year, it looks like the fun is back. It looks like there's a buy-in. I think that Josh is building the team into the team that he wants. And look, this is a very touchy subject for Raider Nation. It's very emotional for us. You wouldn't know anything about this. You're a Green Bay fan and trash team, trash division, just trash.
Well, I don't want to hear it.
Right?
See, y'all's got to bring me into it. I'm talking. I didn't even bring them up. I'm talking Raiders.
Listen,
I'm talking Raiders, and you bring it up Green Bay.
I ain't seen you in a while. We ain't talked in a while. I had to make you remember what
whatever
it is. So
that's why your Canelo pick sucks.
This we'll see. We'll see. We might have to have a wager on that. You know what I'm saying? But the point I'm trying to make here is, it's about where Josh came from. Okay? The two places where he came from. We hate those places. Like, we hate the Patriots. We're gonna always hate the Patriots. Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, everybody that played for the team could be dead and gone. 50 years from now, Raider Nation is gonna hate New England because of the travesty that was the Tuck rule, which, by the way, is no longer a rule. We're never gonna get over that.
Tom Brady said it's a fumble too.
So the point is, we got to give him some time. I said that last year. Okay, I don't like this situation because he's taking a playoff team and breaking it down to nothing.
Okay,
he's
wait, hold
coming
on.
from this division where he's just dominated against these trash teams.
No.
The Bills, the Jets. You don't like this because
no.
your team comes from a trash division too. You got a free 6 games every year.
That's not what it is. No, hear me out now. It was a playoff team. There was a lot of things that went right, and yes, there was a lot of things that went wrong. Before you go there with that, right?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
For sure. Ton of things that went wrong.
But
the fact that they got into the playoffs was a miracle.
It galvanizes the team.
Yes.
Okay, and you could catch lightning in a bottle. Sometimes that don't determine whether or not that it's truth. Raider Nation, I'm gonna talk to you right here, okay? Hear me out. There'll be an article that I'm writing on Franchise Sports Media about Josh McDaniels. You need to support him. He is your head coach. He's won a lot. He knows how to win. The people that he comes from has a way of winning. And guess what? His people are now in the building here. There's more and more. It takes time. You can't have 1 or 2 years of non-success and expect to have success. You can't have high expectations and have no patience. You need to let him do his job. Give it 4 years. At the end of the 4th year, going into the 5th, he should be on the hot seat if he's not winning. But if he's winning or you see some progress in some progressive ways, sit back and enjoy the ride you're going to be on because you're going to be on it for a long time.
Well, I want to say this. Thank you that you're going to write this article. That would be great. But I want to tell you something about the people that you were just talking to. They don't want to hear that. All right? They don't care about anything that you just said. All they care about is winning and winning now. And for the first time in a long time, the year before Josh McDaniels got here, the Raiders were doing that. They were within a play from winning a playoff game.
You want to talk about that play?
Hey, this is that.
Let's talk about that play.
We understand.
Let's talk about the play because the quarterback threw short of the goal line on 4th down
gone.
When the tight end was open on a small guy. But hey,
he's gone.
I'm glad he's gone. Raider Nation, I know you're glad he's gone.
Fine, Danny. I don't need to waste time on the franchise podcast talking about the Saints. What are we doing that for?
Yeah, true.
It's just no point.
They got
we have a quarterback. We have a proven quarterback, somebody that I have been watching take my other team close to the mountaintop.
Let's talk about Jimmy.
For years.
Let's talk about Jimmy G.
Rusty.
Look at first day.
Got some rust.
First day of camp, right?
Yeah.
Him, Max, and Devontae speak to the media.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I see why he wins over a locker room. He's a dude.
Finally.
Well, I never had a problem with that.
Oh, you wasn't saying that when the Niners was whooping up Green Bay every year.
See, here he
you
goes
wasn't
again
saying
with
that
this.
then.
Man, what are you drinking
Now
on?
you're saying it
You're
now?
drinking on hater juice again.
Bro.
No, I never
now
had a
you
problem
see
with
why-
Jimmy G. I never said he sucks. I never talked smack about Jimmy G. Jimmy G always seemed like he's a good dude. He likes strip clubs. I like strip clubs. He's from the Midwest. I'm originally from the Midwest. He's an Italian. I'm half Italian. I like Jimmy G.
Best thing Jimmy G ever did, which you should love, is to go up to Lambeau Field, beat the Packers in the snow, and then say, the Packers, and walk off the field. That was the thing. That's when I fell in love with Jimmy G. That being said,
I love what he's done in the locker room.
Yes.
He's a dude. Guys like him because he's a dude. And I think he took a shot at Derek Carr during his initial press conference.
how?
When he got up on that podium and they asked him about leadership, and he was like, to be authentic and genuine, work hard and build real relationships with my teammates. You don't hear authentic and genuine when it comes to Derek Carr in any conversation with people around the league unless you're his best friend for that year.
Listen, man.
I'm just saying.
Look, I'm a very unpopular
It's
opinion.
refreshing to have that guy in the locker room.
I agree. I'm in a different position than you. I've had him in the locker room for the last however many years.
Yeah, because you got two teams.
I'm concerned, right? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I do have two teams. Is that
In
news?
every sport, he got two teams.
Is that news? Do we not know that already? How many times are we going to run through? Yes, TQ has two teams, everyone. Matter of fact, let me dive into this a bit.
Here we go.
Stop with the DMs. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. Most of you, I'm older than you. I've had my two teams before you had one. You're still in your diapers, okay? I got my two teams a certain way, and the way makes sense, all right? Marcus Allen, Ronnie Lott, fight on. That's how I got my two teams. Simple as that. Do you know how long ago that was? Right, you're in your mama's belly. So stop it, okay? Enough is enough. Matter of fact, I'm not answering any of that anymore. Go back, look at my videos. You see me in my Raider jerseys. You see me in my Niner jerseys. That's what it is. That's what it's going to be forever.
What you going to do on the 13th then? When they play each other, what you going to wear on the 13th?
Oh, you didn't see me last year when they played each other?
No, I wasn't paying no mind.
Wonderful day. Bro, I got red Raider and I got silver and black 49er. Hey, man, I'm that guy when it comes down to my squats. This has been like this forever, man. I'm about to be 50 soon. It's been like this from day one, you feel me? It's not gonna change. It's just not. So, on the subject of Jimmy, prepare for ups, prepare for downs. There are gonna be times when Jimmy is gonna complete a throw to a tight end in the middle of the field and you're gonna say, that's beautiful. There are gonna be other times when a wide receiver is wide open going down the seam and he's gonna overthrow him. Or he's gonna throw into double coverage and the ball's gonna get intercepted. That's just what it is, man. That just comes with Jimmy. Jimmy's a gunslinger, and I think that his personality or maybe his look or maybe his demeanor off the field makes people look at him a certain way. But this guy's a competitor, and he talks trash nonstop.
Look he'll have one or two throws a game that makes Raider Nation pull their hair out if you have hair.
Yeah.
But if he's throwing 40 balls a game and it's one or two throws a game, that percentage is pretty damn good.
Stop it. We do not need Jimmy Garoppolo throwing the ball 40 times a game.
You're gonna have to if Josh Jacobs don't come to camp. So yeah, so
you're gonna be able to.
Oh no, we not. Nope, we talking.
Boy, I mean, look, man. Here's the thing. I believe JJ should be, if not the highest paid, in the top 3 running backs in the league.
Agreed, 100%.
But that being said, it's not the Raiders, man. It's the market. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's the market. There's just a thing on running backs where the market has set it as an expendable position. That's not fair. I don't necessarily agree with it. But if it's a business, you got to go with the market, man. It's as simple as that. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Are you going to sit at home in 2023 and turn away $12 million? Because I feel that's what they're going to agree at. No, you're not. We already know you're not going to do that. And Josh isn't either. And if I'm Josh and I had the kind of season I had last year, do you think that I'm going to come to training camp in that hot-ass sun when I got a air-conditioned facility right next door
Okay,
we
but
don't want to use.
But
I'm going to sit at home until the last minute, then I'm going to report. Why? Because last year, who knew the system better than anybody else? Josh. That's part of why he was teaching the offensive line how to block for him.
Okay, but here's the thing. Athletes have a short period of time to maximize their earning potential. Okay, I get $12 million. But if he wants 19, they settle at 16, and by him sitting out a couple weeks, gets him an extra 4, that makes a hell of a lot of sense.
He's not getting 16.
I'm just doing an ambiguous number.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, he's the NFL leading rusher. And if we're going to talk about the Raider way historically, right?
Yeah.
Al reset the market.
I understood that. It's totally different right now, man. The Raiders made $100 million without playing football. Like, things have changed.
More like $320 million.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yeah,
because
I'm undercutting them.
Yeah,
right.
$320 million.
Without playing football. So it's like, and like, I get what you're saying. I think that's the old way of thinking. I don't think it's about maximizing what you can make while you're playing ball. I think it's about maximizing what you can invest.
Okay.
And if you look at the great ones, if you look at, do we even think about Magic Johnson playing basketball anymore?
Yes.
I don't really.
First thing I think of.
I don't really. I'm thinking about Fatburger and Starbucks and
because you're hungry.
He's being the man. You know what I'm saying? Look at LeBron, right? Look at the things that these guys are able to do these days as businessmen. Look at Shaq. Like, that's really what an athlete should be looking at. Josh should be looking at a couple of more good years. Give me a paycheck. Give me a couple of good years. And then get up out the game, man. Don't go bang yourself up and be a vegetable.
But that's my point. That's why he should fight for what he's getting, because he plays the one position where you get hit over and over and over and over and over again every single play. You're blocking, you're catching, or you're running the ball.
That man has been doing that since he was a child.
Even more of the reason to get paid, because he's
not gonna get paid sitting at home.
Okay, Sean played football just like Peanut, just like Joey, right? Every parent that wants their kid to play football, in youth football, what position do they want their kid to play?
Running back.
They get to high school, what position do they want them to play?
Running back. They're gonna touch the ball.
Because they touch the ball.
Yes.
Okay. He's playing at the highest level.
Yeah, he is.
Pay Josh Jacobs his money. Pay him.
I'm saying the same thing, but what I'm saying on top of that, as a businessman, they're not going to pay him his money. All right. So now, what do? There is no way that man is going to sit out for a whole season.
No, because
there is that much money on the table.
He's not going to, because he can't accrue that year of service time. So he will be back.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be sooner rather than later. Our homegirl, Josina Anderson, friend of the show.
I'm not saying a word. I'm not
saying a
word
JoJo
about Joe and his affinity for Josina. I'm not saying a word. I love Josina too.
She loves Noops.
I think he loves her more than I do.
JoJo's the homie. Like, it was great having
her. Cool. But we talk about this woman all the time.
Yeah, we do. We do.
My goodness.
So
not we. I'm talking about you.
So
don't try to sugarcoat.
I'm talking about what she tweeted out on Tuesday, which was that they're working on another deal. They're getting back to the table. The Raiders and Josh Jacobs working on another deal, hopefully to get something done. So I'm saying, I believe it's sooner rather than later. She's not going to put something out there that isn't true and she didn't get it sourced.
No, that's not her way.
So let's credit JoJo for that. So
I think the Raiders also understand how much they need Josh Jacobs.
Absolutely.
They do understand that. That being said, if he were to sit out the whole season, I wouldn't mind, because what I would love for the Raiders to do,
here he goes,
is beat Kansas City one game and beat the Chargers one game, and that's it. We need the number 1 pick, baby. Fight on, USC, Caleb Williams. That's what we need out here in these streets. You understand me?
I love the picture on Instagram of him. I sent it to you. He was walking. He was here for Pac-12 Media Day, and Caleb walked out and had Allegiant Stadium. I was like, is this future? Is he predicting the future?
Oh, I hope so.
Before we move on, what is the position group that has stood out to you? Because I have mine.
Wide receivers.
Really?
Yes, I believe that this receiving core is going to do some serious damage. I think that Devontae is going to have another all-world year.
Not surprised.
And I believe that Raider Nation and the Raiders themselves are finally going to see what an asset Hunter Renfrow is. And what makes him such an asset is the route runner on the other side of the field. It's going to be hard to contain those dudes. Those two can create an extra step, and they don't do it with speed.
No.
They do it with precision in route running. And I feel like that's the best route running tandem. I feel like the guys that they picked up to come in behind them are some great understudies. I feel like there's the amount of formations that the Raiders are going to be able to use week in and win out. They're going to confuse some defenses. And I really like what I'm seeing from that group.
For me, it's the tight end group. And Michael Mayer is the real deal. Like,
I agree.
He reminds me, and I'm going to steal Zeke's thunder. He wrote that he reminds him of Mark Bavaro, former Notre Dame tight end like Mike Mayer. And
That's good.
And New York Giant won the Super Bowl. I see a lot of that in him. And you pair him with Austin Hooper if he's healthy. You have a Gronk, Aaron Hernandez type tandem because the big guy in Hooper like Gronk, and then that tight end that could do it all like Mayer, like Hernandez was.
Yes.
You know, that right there shows that the pieces are coming into place. Michael Mayer, I think Max Crosby got into it at practice on Tuesday.
Max got into it with Jimmy, too.
I love it.
Yeah, man.
It's chippy.
Yeah, it is chippy. That's the way it should be in training camp.
And by the way, I'm going to tell people this. Max, keep doing your thing, man. Don't let what happened in QB and portray you in a negative light. Don't let that, man, keep doing what you do and say what you do like you did in the press conference.
I wish you would have grabbed him by his face mask and just mushed him into the ground, started a big fight. Who cares if you'd have got suspended? Last year was trash anyway.
Well, he could do that this year at Christmas. Yeah. That way they could lose the next couple games.
We'll take it. I'll take it, man. Give me that. Give me that all day. I'll take it. I love it, though. I'm coming away from training camp feeling 100 times better than I felt last year. Again, it's just like I said earlier, man, to just have all of these Patriots around, it's traumatizing for Raider Nation. I'm a part of it, and I understand. We love Rich. We loved what we were building at the end of that rough season. I think it brought us all together, and we just didn't want to see it just beat down like that, taken down like that. But here we are. This is the situation, and I see this man building a team into his own image. I don't mind that. We got to be real about the situation.
They just need time.
He comes from the most winning we've ever seen in the NFL. Like, he comes from that pedigree.
Yep.
And the one blemish, well, the two blemishes now, last year and with Denver, he wasn't able to build his kind of team.
Agreed.
Right now, he's doing it, and I think if we could set that foundation that he had in New England, Raider Nation is going to forget about last year pretty quickly.
Rich just texted me. He says he's very happy where he is now. College football season is here.
Yes, it is.
And we grew up Pac-12 fans, Pac-10 and Pac-8 fans.
Yes.
Okay, and obviously the 12. And then USC and UCLA decide they want to leave and go to the Big Ten. So this is their last year in the Pac-12. And it seems like the Pac-12 is imploding. And I say this because, well, no, they are. The Big Ten now is vetting and doing their homework on Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and Cal. And the Big 12 is talking to Utah, Arizona, and Arizona State. Leaving just Washington State and Oregon State to kind of fend for themselves. The Pac-12, I want to start there before we go into the local stuff. It's easy to blame Larry Scott, and he is to blame for the Pac-12's failure, don't get me wrong, but what do you feel? Where's the blame lie with the schools?
Well, when I say this, please don't think that I'm not saying that Larry Scott was absolutely terrible, because he was. All right? I don't give him the brunt of the blame. The college football playoff, I feel, killed the Pac-12. I get into this conversation. You know, most of my family's from SEC country. And I get into this conversation, this argument with them all the time, because I see their games. They don't see the games out here because they're going to sleep.
They don't get Pac-12 after dark?
Please. Them people are snoring. They done got finished with pork chops and barbecue and tons of beer, and crabs, shrimp, and they gotta get up and go to church in the morning. So they're asleep by the time the Pac-12 games come on. That bias is really a thing. The Pac-12 is just more competitive than the rest of the conferences. The rest of the conferences, they have their super teams, and any given Saturday, no. No, you're not beating Georgia. You're not beating Alabama. It just ain't happening. Same thing, Michigan, Ohio State. Same thing, Texas, Oklahoma. The Pac-12 ain't like that. Yeah, USC does their thing. Yeah, UCLA, they get good, but they always get beat. It's a conference of attrition. And the college football playoff set it up to where that particular conference, to get into it, you gotta go undefeated. Nobody was going undefeated in the Pac-12 because the talent level, school to school, is much closer than I feel. You got your top dogs, but there's a tremendous drop off.
Well, yeah, because I remember back in the day, covering SC when they had to go to Corvallis and Oregon State beats them on a Thursday.
Exactly.
It's like Oregon State, like,
but Oregon
Michael
State,
Smith, the quarterback, really?
Oregon State got a bunch of guys that couldn't get on USC and UCLA's roster.
Yeah.
And it's a whole lot of people in California, and it's a whole lot of good, fast football players in California, which creates more competition up and down the conference. You got a committee who's East Coast, down South bias, who are gonna basically pick their favorites. And they set a formula that says, all right, they're trash out there. The only way they're getting in is if they don't lose a game. And that was just never gonna happen. So I think that played the biggest part. I wasn't a fan of the BCS, but I think that the BCS was better for the Pac-10/Pac-12 than it was for the other conferences. And the college football playoff was worse.
Okay.
I've been talking about my remedy for years, man.
Okay, but before you get to your remedy, Larry Scott couldn't cut a TV deal with major networks, and that's why they weren't playing games earlier, and they couldn't be seen down south and on the East Coast and in the Midwest. He had the Pac-12 network, and he wouldn't put it on DirecTV. He wouldn't put it on AT&T, Cox, whatever.
Right.
He would. It was literally, you couldn't even stream it.
Hey, man, I'm not absolving Larry Scott for what he did. He was terrible. I said that at the beginning. He's
messed
trash.
up the whole almost got me cursing about this dude.
Good point. He was trash, and he probably had a lot to do with the issue that I talked about from what you just said. But still, he's not sitting in the room at the end of the year picking these teams and setting that formula up for the Pac-12 team to have to go undefeated when that is virtually impossible.
He could grease the right person's hands, but he didn't have the money to do that because the TV deal was trash.
Hey man, I ain't. I'm hey, you talking some things?
I'll put you like this.
Pay grade,
The Pac-12 media day was out here a couple weeks ago. I hung out with my friends from there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say their names, but you
Yes.
know who they are. We had the conversation about UNLV and the Pac-12, and they're like, Stanford and Cal ain't letting that happen. Because academics, they don't even want San Diego State in the Pac-12.
Right. Makes sense.
But now with the conference being blown up, like what's the remedy to the Mountain West to take the name over and bring in Washington State and Oregon State? Or I tweeted it out on Wednesday that at this point, if I'm the Big 12, I look at UNLV, Utah, Arizona State, San Diego State, and SMU to bring to the Big 12. If Stanford, Cal, Oregon, and Washington go to the Big 10, and I think Notre Dame should go to the Big 10 as well. That creates. Look, I got told this in 2020 by a college football coach who's been coaching a long time, really, really close friend of mine. You know him.
Yeah.
He said by 2025, this is going to be 3 conferences.
Period.
It's going to be basically these top schools, the best G5 schools, group of 5 schools, and then the other ones are going to they're going to leave the NCAA, do their own thing, and the other ones are just going to be what's left. And it's going to be almost by invitation only. And it's going that route.
I mean, if it does, I don't have a problem with it if they expand the playoff. If they're not going to expand the playoffs,
So that's your remedy.
and it's just a bunch of people sitting at look, man, every other sport, bro.
Yeah.
Every other. The best way to handle college sports at the end of the year is the way they handle basketball. I understand that's a lot of teams. You can't do that. It's not about a lot of teams. It's about you got major conferences. The winners of those conferences need to battle it out. Whoever's the odd people out, find the next 3 best teams at large, by record, by strength of schedule, whatever, however you want to do that. You can do that the way you do it now. Let the people sit at the table and figure that out. But if you win your conference championship, you should go to the playoffs. Now, if it's only going to be 3 conferences,
Like 3 divisions. Like
how
you'll
you
have
gonna
the
pull it
South,
off?
the East, and the West.
okay, so do they get rid of conference championships and just battle it out for the national championship?
Let's say there's 60 schools. 20 of them make it to the playoffs. 25.
That's going to be a long, long season, bro.
Well, not really, because you're basically everything is almost like a conference game,
A conference, yeah.
and you still play your 12. You don't have conference championships.
Yeah, well, if you're eliminating the conference championship, then that's different.
Then
But
you have those weeks to play it.
You think the conferences are going to agree to that?
Who cares? You're gonna get paid. You don't think ESPN, Apple, some streaming service, Amazon wouldn't pay $6 billion to help create that?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
And then
but
that gets
there's a
distributed
lot
amongst the
of-
schools?
There's a lot of history here, man, with these conference championships, and this is a lot of hardware that goes into these trophy cases. It might not mean nothing to the whole country, but it means something on the recruiting trail.
I mean, okay, and I get regionally and with a fan base, but man, look, I'm a realistic person, I believe, in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, with something like this, look, as much as USC leaving the Pac-12 sucks, going to the Big Ten,
Yeah.
it's the best move for them because what they're going to get paid from the TV deal and what they can do with athletics. I want to see
Creates
USC
more
play the
competition, too.
best teams. I want to see
Yeah, me too.
my favorites. Like I want to see the best teams play. I don't want to see Alabama play Bryant's College.
No.
Okay, that's a cakewalk. I don't want to see Georgia play Clark Atlanta.
No.
Like, come on, that's a dog walk. I don't want to see that.
But that does a lot for them little schools, though, man.
No, it covers their athletic budgets
Yeah.
if they get paid right,
Yeah.
but sometimes they don't. And it's a glorified scrimmage. I want to see the best teams play each other because you'll get more out of that.
Agreed.
And I think it'll make the fan base even more passionate.
Agreed.
So
Agreed. I will say this about UNLV.
I want to guess where I was gonna go. So go ahead and jump on it.
You want to do it?
No, go ahead. Get on UNLV right now. We can talk about it.
UNLV has to find a way. There used to be a resource problem. When we first, as a company, started covering the team, there was a resource problem. There is no resource problem now. They got it comparatively speaking. With
Compared
the
to what it
other
used
teams
to, compared to what it used to be,
and the
it's
other
better
teams
now.
in the Mountain West. Ain't nobody playing in nothing like that. Nobody got no locker room like that, man. Come on.
No, that's true.
that
That's true.
facility over there.
I'm thinking about resource. I'm thinking financial resource.
no,
I'm not
I'm-
thinking about
No,
like
I'm,
on the. Okay.
I'm talking about the thing that makes a recruit
Oh,
come
no,
and say,
100%.
oh, I want to come play here.
The best in the conference, bar none.
That's what I'm saying.
Second best on the West Coast.
Some kind of way, they got to create some enthusiasm in the city. We saw last year during that winning streak, that place actually had some people.
It was rocking. For them, it was rocking.
This city, particularly for sports, you have to come here and win. That street, the most famous street in America, the
world.
richest street in America, possibly the world, it's about winning. You leave from wherever you are to come here to win. UNLV has to figure out the formula that the Aces, VGK, I'm going to leave the Raiders out of this because the NFL is just the big dog. They got to figure out a way to galvanize this fan base and mean something to the kids.
Okay.
Because they just don't.
Okay, so let me start by saying this. I've gotten to know Coach Odom, the staff. Obviously, the players they're all like little. I don't care. I can say it publicly because we own the company. They're like little brothers to me.
Yeah. Always have been.
Yeah, and I talk with them. We talk very candidly and openly about things. being around them, being around the facility, seeing Coach Odom in action, I've bought in.
Yeah.
This team, I've never said this definitively, but I'll say it definitively here. They'll be a bowl team this year.
Time out.
Wait.
Time out.
Hold on.
I have to go back and get some tape.
Go ahead. But hear me out on this one. They are going to be a bowl team, but this is going to tell you the type of
last year, man.
This is the type of deterrent. You have to look at this, and this will tell you the type of year it is. They got Vanderbilt, I want to say week 3. If they're playing their third stringers after that Vanderbilt game, when they got UTEP and they get into conference play, it's going to be a long season. But if they come away from Michigan without Harbaugh there, Vanderbilt, who Tony took that was a good team. This team is more talented than them.
Yeah.
Down to Vandy and beat them down there. We watched the game together.
Yes.
And they come out of this not 3-1 going into Hawaii and UNR. They could be 5-1. They're going to win 7 or 8 games.
Eerily like it sounded last year and the year before that.
The key is health.
I haven't been around.
The key is health.
I haven't been around because of you. You know what I'm saying? Every year you do this to me. You try to ruin my Saturday. All right? I already know my Sunday is going to be ruined. You feel me?
With one of his teams.
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. I'm here in Vegas. I got the camera here. I ain't up in San Francisco doing nothing but working. Here, I'm doing sports, right? And Saturday needs to be cool in this city. And you pump me up every year.
Bro.
You have me out at practice during the preseason, at the camp, spring game, all of this stuff. UNLV is going to be this. UNLV is going to do that. Look, we love them too much, man.
Hey, by the way.
We love them too much, and I constantly get disappointed. So I'm not going to listen to you this year.
Okay, then how about this? Friday, UNLV practice is open to the media. There are sessions to shoot. But we can sit literally the whole practice, sit outside. We don't have to go to the media room this year.
Okay.
Practice starts on the 4th.
Is that the only open practice?
No. All
for the rest?
Yes. There's
right.
like 6 closed practices for fall camp.
Okay.
For everybody.
All right.
Go and see. I'm gonna tell you what's different. Credit Barry Odom. Credit Brennan Marion, Michael Shear, Dell Alexander, Nate Longshore, Cornell Ford, Akeem, Magazoo, and Ricky Logo. Those are and Vance Bice and my special teams coach, man. That's my guy right there.
Best staff they've had, you feel?
It's right up there, but it's the difference with them. Shebest is the special teams coach, by the way. They are guys that have recruited in the SEC, the ACC, the Pac-12, Notre Dame. They recruit different than the rest of the coaches in the conference. And you're seeing it with the amount. Look it, and I say damn near had, it came down to literally the morning of for the safety that ended up choosing Oklahoma. But from my understanding, it was tough for Michael to pull the trigger and go and not come to UNLV, but go to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying this, they are recruiting different, and I'll say this. I talked to a player that is one of the faces of the program.
Yeah.
He got something for everybody. Because he's like, he added weight.
Oh, yeah?
He added weight. And
Okay.
hey, Brennan Marion's offense on average is 558 yards per game, 38 points per game.
Hey, man.
I expect
tell me this.
I expect Doug Brumfield to throw for average 300 and 100 yards rushing every game. How's that?
That's standard. That's standard Sarah man activity.
Hail Sarah for him.
Tell me this. Like, you are connected with the team. You love the team. You're very emotional about the team. All right?
100%.
I got to come non-emotional, because if not, we're both going to have strokes on the sideline. All right? So let's temper this down a little bit. How do the players feel about the new coaching staff?
Love them.
They love them.
Absolutely adore them. They have bought full into what Coach Odom is preaching. From Coach Odom to his brother Brad, who's the director of football ops. The GAs, our boy CJ Pollard's there.
Yes.
Welcome home, Nico Fertitta.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have a group of coaches that connect with the players. Like,
don't woof on me, bro.
No, listen.
Because you're just feeling some kind of way in your heart.
Listen.
I'm going to them practices. I'm gonna find out myself.
Okay, listen. You're gonna see Brendan Marion pregame and at practices wearing his cowboy hat. But I've watched this guy in recruiting trips and stuff, right?
Yeah.
They're playing music and he's in there dancing, and he's hitting it, and everybody and every recruit, the team in team meetings hype. Right. Like there's a general feeling of family. Now, and I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna go with the last two coaches. I'm gonna go with Tony. Tony got the city to buy in to the program financially and started to emotionally. Without Tony Sanchez, they wouldn't be where they're at right now.
Agree 100%.
When Marcus Arroyo came in, Marcus gave them the attitude adjustment and the culture that they needed. And he treated them like professionals.
Yes,
absolutely. He gave them, with Odom and his staff, I see the family, the bond. And look, Coach Odom is dug into Las Vegas. Our team, our community is a hashtag he uses. He's goes everywhere. His son is the quarterback at Faith Lutheran. He's not one of those guys that's just selling wolf tickets and is looking to be here a year or two and bounce. No, he's invested to be here, and he sees the vision. And let's say they get to the Big 12, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to go anywhere because the big money's coming in. And keep in mind, he coached in the SEC, head coach at Missouri.
Yeah.
Missouri's a lower level SEC team. I think we all can agree on that, right?
Yes, for sure.
They were 500 with him.
Yeah.
So he's doing it with that, and he's got the best facilities, the best stadium, some of the freshest uniforms.
No, hold on. I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you.
They don't got their uniforms on fresh?
I heard you talking about uniforms, you're talking about stadiums, you're talking about quarterbacks, coaches. What does the defense look like, man? Come on, you knew it was coming. Okay. What does the defense look like?
The secondary's the deepest secondary in, I think, the conference and that they've ever had. Look, you're running out three safeties. You're walking out Jono, you're walking out Jordan Morgan, and you're walking out my boy Jackson Turner. Now look, Jack led Arizona in tackles last year. Rare breed kid. Shout out to the breed up.
Shout out.
So you got the linebackers. You got the Arkansas transfer. You got Marcel McDuffie. You got Fred Tompkins. You got the Florida State transfer from last year. D-line.
I'm going to be looking at this. Look, you told me practices. I can say practice the whole while.
Yeah. Corners, long, lengthy.
Here you go again.
With Jure.
Here you go again, talking about a lot of stuff that I don't care about.
Okay.
What does the defensive line look like, sir?
I'm going last. Gotta keep it.
Come on, man.
Okay, the D-line. Look,
times are moving.
Okay, D-line. You got Darius Johnson back, the hammer. Okay. You have Elijah Shelton back. You got Toko Naki. Happy birthday, by the way.
Nice.
You got this transfer from Louisiana Monroe, where Ricky Lugg was at, putting up 500.
How many of them gonna play on Saturdays?
I think they're 2, maybe 3 deep.
What?
Mountain West 3 deep, 2 deep for sure.
All right.
So the D line is gonna be fine.
Don't be woofing me, man. You've been woofing me for years. You know you go to practice before I do. You get me all pumped up.
We're going together on Friday.
All right.
We'll go together Friday. I've been to spring. I went to other stuff, but I ain't been to spring practice.
All right.
So by the way, folks, you can get your UNLV season tickets. Go to UNLV.com. Check out their tickets.
Yes.
On sale now. It's gonna be a great time this year. They got a lot of different giveaways going on.
Come out and support them, man. Please.
And
you ain't doing nothing on Saturday.
And they're recruiting local. They got like 7 local recruits.
Really?
2 from DP, 2 from Liberty.
Beautiful.
You got Gorman.
Beautiful.
So I mean that's 5 off the top of my head right there.
Nice.
So I mean they're staying local too. So
it's good.
Congratulate them with that. All right, man. Well, folks, that's it for this week's show.
Man, we missed y'all. I'm not gonna have too many more layoffs like that. I apologize, but
me too.
Trying to make some good music. That's what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
If you don't already, go to therealtq.com. Go to his Facebook page. Check out the single and the video shot by Trisha Lacoste, Disappear.
Yeah.
So we gotta make phones disappear, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, look. I want to say this before we get out of here. Send a shout out to my dog Gilly. Lost his son a couple of weeks ago. Rest in peace, Cheese. And I also want to give a shout out to the King of Los Angeles right now, my man Sponto. Born and raised. I'm going to represent for you, homie. Thank you so much for the love. Watch us on franchisesportsmedia.com and at our official YouTube channel at TheFranchiseLV.
Subscribe.
Follow us on all of our social media, X, Facebook, Instagram, at TheFranchiseLV. I'll let your boy.